Hey, hey, Gregorinis. I'm in beautiful Belle Reef, Tasmania. I'm just leaving an appointment and I got here a little bit before my appointment and was just looking at my notifications and I feel awful because I've forgotten his channel name. But the dude with the paddleboard, um, he did something on Kiely Rodni a week or two ago and I subscribed. So I liked his voice. He seemed like a good guy. Um, anyway, he popped up in my notifications. I had about 20 minutes to kill before my meeting, so I listened, and it's the guy that found a lot of belongings that look like they might be Kiely Rodni's in the Crossett Dam, and that included her laptop. And I wasn't. I mean, look, I'm aware of Kylie's. Hey, cement shoes. I'm aware of Kylie's story. I've been quite vocal about all these YouTubers flogging it to death and so on. But it's actually got to a point where I'm like, kind of going. I mean, I'm not prepared to go down any conspiracy theory, but there's so much to this story. It's just these never-ending twists and turns, like without all the YouTube chatter in the background. Oh, you missed Batshit Groover. It was a good episode. I'm just showing you a bit of Belle Reef. See if I can get a nice view across the river to Hobart, where I work, as you know. Um, but I need a park where I can pull in. But Hobart's basically on the other side of that river. Yeah, the bridge was priceless. um, but yeah, little Hobart town where I go into work. Of course, there's a fuck. I was like, oh, here's perfect. I'll pull over here, but there's a bin. But can you see over there? Oh, that's Hobart. It's just a different angle that you don't normally see. I think I might be able to pull over up on the point. There's some beautiful houses along this esplanade, like the one that I'm about to be facing. Look at this place. Gorgeous Tassie sandstone. Isn't it incredible? Look at the work on that veranda and like on the railings, whatever you call that stuff, that cast iron gorgeousness. Hang on. Is there a park that doesn't have a big fat bush in front of it? There we go. Perfect. Hey, hey, big chick is me. I like your name. Hi, Leah D. So yeah, there across the river, Derwent, is the city of Hobart. You can't actually see Mount Wellington; it's covered in cloud. But that's where I work. Obviously, for those of you that drive into town with me, sometimes on my way to work or on my way home from work. So this area that I'm in is Belle Reeve. You were looking at properties for sale in Tassie in New Zealand. Yeah, move this way. Hippie chick is me. I love your name. It's cute as. Hippie chick is me. So I'm just showing you a little bit of Belle Reeve before I head home. And most of you are familiar with my drive home, but there's just some lovely views and stuff down here. It's a lovely spot. And yeah, like I said, there's some amazing houses on the esplanade, like this one up on the left, the two-story weatherboard. Sort of reminds me of the Hamptons in America. This one here. You can't really see it, much of it, because of the hedge, but it's stunning. And of course, they've got these amazing views. Here's another one of Hobart Town across the river. You don't see hippie chick. You'd love to move my way to Tassie. Hey, Joey. Yes, Hamptons, Queenslanders, and although not the Queenslanders that are not sitting on the ground, we don't have Queenslanders here because, I mean, weirdly, my house is on stilts, but in colder communities, a lot of houses don't have basements either, unless they used to use them for storing meats and things back in the day. You thought the case was just a case of misadventure, but I ain't been following either. Nice view. Yeah, we're over in Belrive. I thought I might as well show you a bit of Belrive because we don't come here very often, but it's beautiful. I mean, I do come to Belrive a lot. I've got a lot of friends who live here, but I don't usually go live. But I wish I could remember the channel creator. I apologise, but the cool dude with the paddleboard was one of the few channels that I was listening to the Kiely Rodni stuff because he's actually on site and out and about and stuff. But anyway, he found all these belongings under the water and they, he thought that they would be Kylie's things and they didn't wrap Kylie's car when they pulled it out and they actually flipped it over underwater, which is sort of weird. And I've listened to enough AWP to know they wrap the cars and everything. But anyway, it includes potentially her laptop. So I was listening to him before I went into this meeting I've just been at. I love this little road. You'll have to use uppercase now, cement shoes, by the way. I love this little road. It goes right around the bluff at Belrive. So that, like, to the right of me is just pure water and now a jogger. But yeah, for floods. But we don't have Queenslander-style homes down here, but we do have that sort of Hamptons look. As is the weatherboard by the beach sort of thing. But we don't have that floor below where there's a carport and stuff like Queenslanders have. Our houses sit on the ground. Checker TV, thank you. I knew it was a C, and I was like, fuck, Tori. I knew it before I went live, and then my brain just went, no, as it does. So ahead of me is Belrive Oval. For those of you who watch Australian sport, you will have watched cricket happening many times at Belrive Oval, which probably has one of the nicest views of an oval in Australia because it's on the edge of a beach. So it looks out over the beach and the water and stuff. But yeah, I do love Belrive. It's very pretty. I'm on the wrong side. Well, actually, at the moment, there's only one. It's a one-way road. We're about to go two-way. It's going to freak you out, hippie chick. So we've now got Belrive Beach to the right. There's the beach on our right, and on our left just here is Belrive Oval, or Blunston Arena as it's known officially. So if you watch the cricket and the footy when it's live at Blunston Arena, here it is. Hey. Anyway, I'm going to head home, but I'll take you a slightly different way. We'll go a bit suburban for a while. But yeah, so Kiely Rodni, I wasn't going to cover it. I felt that it was a case of things just went terribly wrong, like a string of unfortunate incidents that led to the tragic death of a 16-year-old girl. Sadly, that sort of chain of events does usually have a fairly predictable outcome. And I certainly wasn't entertaining any of the YouTube channels that were sort of speculating but without facts. I'm all for speculation if there's facts that you've got that you're piecing together. But I found a lot of their commentary was just far-fetched and too conspiracy theory for me and just typical YouTube bullshit that every bloody story has to be sinister. You know, that just, I've just got that sort of, I guess, YouTube true crime fatigue. because everything has to be a scandal. Bit of trivia, this house up here on the corner right here, this cream weatherboard, I used to live there. I didn't think to tell you that. Yeah, I'm on 2 channels because I'm gradually, you can only see your own comments. I'm gradually moving over there. I'm just trying to get people in the habit of clicking the link, and although I didn't put the link in, let's keep going around the external roads. Yeah, when I go live at home with both of them, I put the link for the channel because I'm trying to get people, I'm trying to get you groovers to go over and subscribe to the Smooth Criminal podcast channel, because that's where I'm going to be doing all my true crime stuff pretty much by the end of this month. The same with all my cooking. That's all going to be on the Shitty Kitty Kitchen channel. I'm starting to streamline the themes of my channels. And then Better Call Tour is just going to be the fun channel with batshit and just general catch-ups and hanging out and doing silly shit and scam baiting. Actually, scam baiting will probably end up on Smooth Criminal as well. Yes, assumptions and rabbit holes. Porcelain shoes. Oh, God, it's 1:45 in the morning for you. Party animal, look at you up. Little night owl. I'll be tucked up in my bed at 1:45 a.m. I'm taking my friends who are here from Adelaide to a really yummy restaurant tomorrow for lunch at a winery. It's going to be great fun. Just going to come up here and show you a bit more of the beach before I head home. Oh no, we're glad Cement Shoes worked it out, because the penny didn't drop. I've got to keep reminding myself when I'm on 2 channels that is the likely explanation. Oh, it's up at the lookout, but I mean, we can look out to sea. Oh, you're a retired night shift nurse. So you're still in that, your body's algorithm is still night shift. That happened to me when I finished doing breakfast radio, because we used to get up at 3 in the morning to go to work. It took several years for me to stop being wide awake at 3 a.m. Now I wake up at 5 and have done so for several years, and that's better. I'm going to go so it's the long way home, but it might be a bit more scenic. Because we're a bit before peak hour traffic, so why the fuck not, eh? Just remind me I have to go to the post office when I get down to the little town where I live. Say, hey, Tor, post office, I've got a parcel, possibly 2, to pick up. And there's nothing better than picking up a parcel. So, Kiely Rodni, without all the YouTube chatter, not all of the YouTube, the majority, where all the postulating's going on and creators are going live to slam other creators for their highfalutin theories and then delivering their own highfalutin theories in the same live. The channels of substance are doing things like AWP and putting information out there that's actually information that's worth discussing. And I'm not jumping from this stuff that's coming out now to foul play, because at the moment the stuff that's coming out to me is ineptitude by the police that are investigating it or that were looking into it, or if whatever the fuck they're doing. That's as far as I'm going with it, because that's where we've got stuff that's making me go, what's happened here? You don't flip a car that has open and broken windows underwater, for starters. You shouldn't. AWP don't. And if you are going to pull something out of the water, and especially if you're going to flip it, you might want to wrap it, because it sounds like a shitload of shit that was in the car is now, well, some of it has been retrieved. Yeah, remind me when I'm home, Joey. I'm remembering I've got to go there now. If it's later, I might need help. Um. So yeah, it's not the latest developments are not making me take a giant leap to foul play, but I am thinking that it's been a big fat pause up. I think there's been a bit of ineptitude. Okay, Joey. So you got this guy with a nice voice and a little paddleboard. I don't know if I've got any mods that can drop the link to his channel. I'm just focusing on the road at the moment, by the way, guys, so bear with me. Who's basically gone out off the banks across the reservoir, and clear as day down in the water has spotted many items, articles, belongings that were potentially Kiely Rodni's, and quite possibly fell out of the car when the car was flipped before they pulled it out. Because if you look at the AWP footage, the car was upside down on its roof, but when it's been pulled out of the water, it's upright. So it got flipped while it was still in the water. And when AWP have retrieved other cars, because they didn't do the retrieval, they actually got asked to leave the site. So that footage, after they found her car and found her, is of them filming the car being pulled out. They were on the other side of the bank, like on another bank, filming that. They didn't do it. But when they pull a car out, and I can't read chat at the moment, Groovers, I'll have to do a proper live about this because my audio might be shit too. Apologies if it is. But when AWP pull a car out, they actually wrap it in like tarps so that it's essentially sealed and everything inside the car is intact. But when AWP found Kylie's car, you can see items in the car, including her laptop, in the video footage. Anyway, this dude has, because he called the cops and said, I found all this stuff in the water where Kylie's car was pulled out, like on the seabed or the reservoir floor. Do you want to come and get it? And nobody gave a fuck. He was sitting out in the reservoir for over an hour and nobody came. And he was questioning whether he should go down and just film it all or whether he should retrieve the belongings. And the video that I was watching, the live that he'd done, he took everyone out on the paddleboard and showed the belongings, and you could clearly see shit. You couldn't really work out what it was. But he'd found a heap of crap. Not crap. I mean, when I say crap, I'm not being disrespectful to Kylie, but he found a heap of stuff that shouldn't have been left there. And then when I came out of my meeting, he's done another video saying he'd found, it's a community page post saying that he's found her laptop. And it was quite sad because none of the cops, he called the wrong police station in the first instance, and then moved on to the ones that were investigating, or so he thought. And I think the initial police station transferred him or whatever. And he was sitting there saying, I can't believe, like, no one's come out here. It's been over an hour. And then he was like, does anyone even care? And that just cut me to the core. And also the greenie in me was like, well, there's also just generally, I mean, obviously this is a sad story, and they're possibly, you know, the belongings of a 16-year-old deceased girl. But the greenie in me too was like, there shouldn't be that much shit in the bottom of a reservoir. Like, take the Kiely Rodni story out of the equation, but it's not okay to leave shit in a reservoir or any waterway. So yeah, it's just where I'm at with it is, I think there's been some major fuck ups by the authorities. I don't know if the cops have the laptop yet. Like, he's posted that they found Kylie's laptop. He found Kylie's laptop, and it's out of the water, I believe, because there were other articles in a photograph that he'd brought up, because he was waiting for someone to come and get them, and nobody did. And he was live, and he was asking people to call the cops and put pressure on them to go out there and meet with him and retrieve all these belongings. And I went into my meeting without any further updates, and then when I came out, there's a post saying, we found Kylie's laptop. So, you know, I mean, her phone might be floating around down there too. I mean, God knows what else came out of the car, but that laptop is visible when AWP are filming the car underwater. Hey, Blue. Hey, Scott. Hi to anyone else who's cruised in. So, yes, although I've been a bit vocal about YouTubers and their theorising and pontificating and everything else, I'm all for speculating when there's facts and information to throw into the mix, but I'm not taking the giant leap for a very unfortunate and predictable outcome, unfortunately. But I'm certainly now going, okay, you've got my interest a little bit, because at the very least, this whole story about finding her and retrieving her in the car is becoming very messy. And even, I think it's Humanimal who first mentioned it to me a few days ago on my panel, that where I was doing the live about social media and people using their platforms and bringing about outcomes, because we had the guilty verdict in Australia of Chris Dawson for murdering his wife 40 years ago, and that was a podcast that brought that story back into the public arena, and it happened around the same time that AWP found Kylie in her car. So I was doing a live about that, and Humanimal's clearly following the case, and so is Lee RD, a lot more than I have been. But there was a bit of discussion, but, you know, Humanimal was talking about how she felt that it was irresponsible of AWP to put accident or murder in their, you know, the headline of their video when they found Kylie, which is a really valid point. But I've also had the misfortune of modding for the clickbait champion of YouTube, and I do agree with what Humanimal said, but I'm a little bit desensitized to clickbait because, yeah, I used to moderate for someone who was the absolute pro when it came to clickbait titles. So that was a bit ick. And then, of course, the guy who found Kylie in her car coming up and saying, it looks suspicious to me. And then, YouTubers have gone live for days on end reading a lot into that statement, even though they're not factoring in this poor guy has literally just found a 16-year-old deceased girl who's been missing for 2 weeks. And to him, it looks suspicious. I mean, you could read so many different things into that sentence, but of course, it's murder most foul crew have to swing into action. Just this pulling every sentence apart and putting so much emphasis on every single word. And sometimes it's just people being people. I don't know what the fuck I would have said when the first thing I said when I came up the water after finding a deceased child. But I would imagine whatever it was, you could misinterpret that a million ways. And now it looks like and I must admit, when I watched the footage of her car being pulled out and just how there was the tarp draped over the back, which looked more like a privacy thing than anything else, just to protect Kylie, essentially. But I do remember thinking, wow, they've turned it over underwater. And at that point, I don't think I really knew much even about broken windows and stuff. But that thought did cross my mind that they must have rolled it while it was still underwater. Now we're kind of getting the significance of why you don't do that. I can't read chat at the moment either, guys. This is, as you can see, it's a gorgeous little country road, but I need to focus on the road and the safety of others and me. But I'm just curious to see, and it's obviously a topic that you guys are interested in because we've got quite a few of you rolling into chat, and yeah, it's sort of piqued my interest because there's now something with a little bit of substance that probably is worth following and, watching it all as it unravels. And there's still so much we don't know. And also, may I just say, nor are we fucking entitled to. What is it with YouTubers thinking that police investigators, detectives, families, friends of victims in cases and stories, and I'm calling Kylie's a story at the moment, what is it with YouTubers thinking they're entitled to all this information and acting like spoiled children that they haven't seen everything yet? Who the fuck do you think you are? Like, I'm all for us discussing things as they come to light, but I'm never, ever, ever in a million years going to be so fucking arrogant or cocky to think that, A, we are going to see absolutely everything, because we're not, and B, I'm never going to fucking think I'm entitled to see everything. So many YouTubers, oh, well, they haven't released this yet. Well, what's it to you? Why should it be released for you and your beady eyes and your bullshit theories? How about letting the family grieve without you all being entitled shitheads whinging on YouTube about how you're not being given all the documents and all the evidence and all the information and the autopsy reports and every other fucking thing you think you're entitled to? Why? Why do you think you're entitled to that stuff? Because I bet with my left tit, if you had a family member or friend who died, whether it was from a horrible accident, an unavoidable tragedy, or something more sinister, I reckon you'd all be going live bitching about all these strangers on the internet pouring all over the evidence they've got and the information they've got and talking about your family member without reminding themselves that it's a human being they're talking about who people are genuinely grieving over. You'd be fucking horrified, wouldn't you? Yeah. Oh, you would. You love the word whinging. Whingers make me a whinger, cement shoes. Make a video on the entitlement, someone. I will. This is a new Tory. I'm speaking up because I've had it up to pussy's bow. That's an expression I'd never heard before. And it's kind of disturbing. I've had it up to pussy's bow. Apparently it's the bow that's around the neck of an actual cat as opposed to having a little bow on a body part that some people refer to as a pussy. Oh my God, it makes me cringe. I just got that. I'm doing the shrugged shoulder thing now. I don't have a neck anymore. My shoulders are up near my ears just saying that word. Mr. Jen, hello. Pussy's bow. I will blow. I'm getting vocal. Yeah. I'm speaking, and I'm happy to speak up. Like, if you guys have topics that are giving you the irrits, up to pussy's bow, just let me know and I'll do it. Like, I've got an email at smoothcriminalchannel@gmail.com. Send me the stuff and I'll do it. Well, if I don't feel that it's, if I'm not, if I don't have the time to research it or if it's not something I feel passionate about, I probably won't. But if it is, look out. God, I've got a wicked little crowd in here and I'm fucking driving, but I don't want to stop because I'm ahead of the peak hour traffic. But obviously the name Kiely Rodni brings all the groovers to my yard. I went live earlier doing the Chris Dawson verdict. Don't get me wrong, if I have one person tuning in, it's worth it as far as I'm concerned. But and look, don't get me wrong, I know a lot of YouTubers have been covering cases like Kiely Rodni and Summer Wells and Gabby Petito and Chris Watts for a long time. Not Kylie, obviously, that's very new, but I know why a lot of them do, because it brings all the not so groovy people to their yard, because all the groovers come hither. This case is becoming weird, and it wasn't weird to me before, Mr. Jen, but now I'm like, okay, all right, I'm interested. But like I said, where I'm interested at the moment, I'm not going down the murder most foul road yet, but I'm definitely intrigued about how the cops have made an absolute fuckery and fuck up of this. Shady man. Weren't you in here before? Shady man, did you come in and say hi and got lots of love and attention and then you left and then you came back in and you're getting more now? You like this side of your love. I've been doing a lot of ranting lately, Lee. I've just got to a point where I feel I know I'm not the only one who thinks this way. So it's sort of like, why have I participated on YouTube and watched all this shit and chatted to other friends of mine who are familiar with the YouTube world? I mean, fuck it. We're all spectators. It wouldn't hurt a few YouTubers to remember that fact. Oh, you were asleep. Well, good morning. Good to have you here, Groover. Yeah, I just kind of feel, why don't I just, because I mean, there's no point in me talking to my friends about anything YouTube because they look at me like I'm fucking insane. I'm sure you guys all know what I mean. Like, you can't talk to your friends about YouTube if they don't YouTube because they're going, I'll just use the people in chat I can see. Flyby insight, why the senseless cursing? Because I'm a bit like that. I'm an Australian potty mouth. I'm fired up. And that's just the way I am. And when we do stand-up comedy, at the start of the show, we say, if anyone's offended by swear words, we say, there'll be some swearing in the show tonight, and if anyone's offended by swearing, you can fuck off now. I just choose to say fuck instead of because I say a lot too while my brain's processing. Beautiful reply, Aussie woman. Thank you. Fucking appreciate it. That's the other thing too. Australians swear in an endearing way. Like, we call each other cunts. Like, we call our friends cunts. It's a term of endearment. Totally Mel. The Karen patrol's here. Good work, Groover. Does get annoying. But yeah, like, Mel, totally Mel. How you going, you cunt? Hey, you fucking cunt. Good to see you. Where was I? Oh, that's right. I was fucking ranting about fucking wankers on fucking YouTube. That's right. Yeah, Aussies and swear words, they go. It goes hand in hand, like millennials and smashed avocado. We go together like rama lama lama, dingity dingadong. That's just the way we are. All right, Mel, I'll pull over. It'd be good actually to have a co-conspirator. Fucking fuck. A female friend visited from Australia. I'll never forget the first time she called my mum's cat her pussy. Well, look, we're filthy. But it's meant in... Right, I've got to remember how I do this. Post, comment, layout, private chat, hang on. Guest. Here we go. Invite a guest. Copy to clipboard. I'm not confident. Oh, it's copied. Excellent. This is for totally Mel only, Groovers. Because I'll add her and then I'll start driving again so I can't add anyone else. Hey, I'm sneaky like that. Post a comment. I'm pressing it to paste. Here we go. Hit chat. Grab that link. You all looked at each other like, what the fuck? Yeah, we're wrong. But we're criminal. Like, we're criminals. We're convict stock. We're all descendants of the criminals who were sent here. Well, not all of us. We do have wonderful Indigenous Australians, the original traditional landowners. Yeah, it's just the way I am. And also, it's my day off. I'm a lawyer. I don't get to say fucking cunt at work. So, you know, I'm just adding this cunt right now.
Cunt! You cunt!
How you going, you cunt?
I'm fucking good, thanks, cunt.
Fuck, I can't hear Mel.
What?
Oh, hang on. I've sorted out my media. How you going, you cunt?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right, cunt. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. You happy to co-pilot on
co-pilot.
Heathrow Airlines?
Yep.
Shady Man. Yeah, Shady Man reminded me of that when I was scam baiting, and the scammer that said they were flying Heathrow Airlines. And I wish, because I've been flying this week airlines on my way to work, and Shady Man was like, wasn't it Heathrow Airlines? I'm like, oh, fuck, I wish I'd remembered that. Yeah, I'm a lawyer and it's my day off, you cunt. Exactly, Blue.
Yeah. You stupid minger.
Fuck it. Just going past Hobart Airport, we're going past the home of Heathrow Airlines. So, yeah, the Kiely Rodni case, which I've been quite scathing of YouTubers and all of their speculating, it's now got interesting because we've now factual information that at the very least suggests that the investigating police officers have been nothing but short of incompetent.
In what way?
This dude on a paddleboard goes out onto... Right, so you won't have much to add to this discussion other than keeping the cunts in line. That's good.
No, I know enough.
So, yeah, but these are new developments because I had a meeting at 2 and I had got there about half an hour early, so I was flicking around on the YouTubes, and this dude that I follow went out on his little paddleboard and found belongings in the bottom of the reservoir that looked like they might have come out of Kiely Rodni's car. And then I went into my meeting and I've come out of it, and he wasn't sure whether he was going to leave it there and wait for the cops to arrive to dive down and get it. And he rang the cops and nobody came. He'd been there for over an hour and he wasn't sure whether he should just take some photos or dive down and get it. And I came out of my meeting and there's a community post, and he's found amongst the belongings, he found a laptop which is visible in the car when AWP found it submerged.
What?
And no, yeah, and there's a heap of other belongings as well. So I'm suddenly going from being my only real involvement with Kiely Rodni's story has been to be critical of the YouTubers who just have to make every story sinister before there's anything really of substance to suggest that might be the case. Now I'm actually I'm a bit intrigued now. Oh, fuckers. Can someone drop the guy's link? It's Check It TV. I'm just focusing on the roundabout at the moment. Things get a bit hairy around here with all the roadworks.
Wait,
but so it's Check It, but it's...
Was the laptop in the car when the car was brought out of the water?
I guess no, because one thing that I did think when I saw AWP's video was when the car's pulled out, it's upright, but when they found it, it was upside down. And I remember looking at it thinking, well, that means they've actually rolled it underwater. They've had to have tipped it over underwater.
Yep.
And when AWP, in other videos I've watched of theirs, if they actually do the retrieval, because on this instance they weren't allowed to, they were banished and told to get off site. So they actually filmed it from a different bank. But they wrap the cars, like they wrap them in tarps, because especially like with Kylie's car, there was a broken window and a window that was half down. If you're going to roll a car
Yeah, but they couldn't do that underwater.
and the fact that, yeah, they do. They wrap them underwater. Because you can wrap, like, say if it's upside down, you can wrap one side and then turn it 15 degrees, and then anything in there will fall to the bottom bit that you've wrapped, and then you wrap the other side and out she comes.
Well,
but they don't flip them underwater.
The thing is that being any sort of police investigation, which it was, until an autopsy's done or something like that, a diver should have been there to make sure there was nothing left behind.
Yeah, correct. Like do a sweep dive.
Yeah.
And gather up any belongings. But that's the whole reason why AWP wrap the car, but they don't roll them. They pull them out however they were positioned. But when you watch their video, like the car's on its roof when they find it and her, but when it's been called out by the cops, by the FBI, they've rolled it while it's still underwater. And the only tarpaulin is sort of put on the back of it while they're pulling it out. And I presume watching that was more for privacy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So they've rolled the car with open windows.
Why are we talking about fucking Bitcoin in the chat?
I've got no idea. I can't read chat while I'm driving, as you know, unless I'm, crawling or in an intersection. Who's talking? What cunt's talking about Bitcoin?
The Flyby Insight.
Oh, that's the one who told me off for being a potty mouth. I don't care about Bitcoin.
Yeah, look, I think
that's called derailing chat, is it?
The fact she was found in only 14 foot of water.
Yeah.
And they had divers in there is ridiculous as it is.
Yep, and that's where the conspiracy started. The car was put there later on, like after the divers had been through that area.
I don't know. I just think maybe they're not,
Well, AWP commented about how a fresh incident where a car ends up underwater, they're not easy to spot. So they and they don't have the investigators don't have the same sort of equipment and so on, but for whatever reason, let's just add that to the list of unfortunate incidences, but it's all starting to smell of police incompetence at the very least.
Oh, definitely some of that, but I don't think there's a conspiracy about what happened to her. I think she was pissed and went the wrong way.
Yeah, look, I still have in my mind that it was unfortunately a predictable outcome. I don't call things like that accidents because there's a series of elements that combined.
Yes.
There's a fairly predictable likely outcome. So the word accident makes people feel better, but when we were practicing motor vehicle accidents, we referred to them as crashes, not accidents, because, once there's driver incompetence, bad road conditions, alcohol, speed, all of those things in the mix, then the chances of a crash increase significantly. It's not an accident, it's a crash. But, yeah, see, AWP, hey, Stoner Girl, AWP had a hard time identifying the car themselves. They had to scan it several times. Yeah, they thought it was a boat at first. And also they commented that it already had quite a lot of sediment on it, which was unusual for a fresh...
Yeah. And their equipment is way better than anything the cops have.
Yeah, absolutely. And in this instance, the fact that the cops didn't find her, it is genuinely a case of them not having the experience, training and or equipment. Whereas when we watched the footage of that horrible school shooting and the cops were fucking around in the corridor for an hour and everyone was saying they're not trained to deal with this stuff, I was thinking, why aren't you? You get school shootings happening quite a lot. Like, is that not something that you would be training your cops? Because that didn't fly with me, but with this case and the cops not finding the car, that can be explained in my view. But you also would go back and dive around to see if there's anything else down there. And
you would think so.
It was quite incredible. Yeah, and it's incredible the amount of stuff this guy, you could see it before when he put his camera into the water, you could sort of see objects but not really identify anything. But even when he was filming from his little paddleboard, you could clearly see stuff on the floor. And admittedly, the tide has gone out, like it's a lower tide than when they found her car, which is why, you know, it's shallower and easier to see the floor. But there were divers, like, that went down and attached things to the car to pull it out. And it's all these content. Okay?
Someone's asking if I can play the video of the dude finding stuff, I think.
Yeah, no, there's no way. Oh, can you share something while we're live on StreamYard on my phone?
Yeah.
Oh, you can. Well, it's Check It. And the video is, I've found evidence. It mentions Kiely and it might use the word evidence or belongings. And it's like probably the most recent video or the second most recent video he's done. Because he was active when I was watching him, and then I went into the meeting and came back out, and then he said, we found Kylie's laptop. And it is the laptop that you can see clearly in the car in AWP's footage. It's obviously going to have to be confirmed, but it's pretty likely it's Kiely Rodni's laptop.
I'm just trying to see if I can find the actual timestamp.
So Check It is all one word. So it's CHEKIT.
No, I've got it. I've got his channel.
Oh,
he's live right now.
We better not. That'll be a first, probably a live drive panel guest streaming someone else live.
He's got 1.8k people watching.
He's grown massively. Like, I'm pretty sure when I subscribed to him only 2 weeks ago, he had like under 1,000 subs.
Wow.
But he's got a really nice voice, and he makes me laugh because he's like, can you guys just please all put pressure on the cops and I'll just call them and say there's some numpty on YouTube who's claiming to have found a heap of Kiely Rodni's belongings. That's like the way. I think he said knucklehead, I think he said. Like, he makes me laugh. And he's got a little dog called Chico, I think. It doesn't look remotely Hispanic. But yeah, so it's Check It TV, and if there's a mod who can drop the link, definitely go and subscribe, because this is a YouTuber with substance and doing something. This is what I've been ranting about for the last few weeks. Like, find the channels that are actually proactively doing shit. Abandon the Ryan Upchurch fangirls and slagger offers. They're a waste of time. Like, find people like Check It TV and I mean, he just came up in recommendations because I had been watching a few Kiely Rodni things, including AWP's video. And I subscribed to him because I'm like, well, he's there. He's at the reservoir.
Yeah.
Fuck all these other fuckers.
The actual video of what he's found.
There was discussion when he was live that he'd already taken another video down, so, or it had been it had been taken down. I don't think he did it. I think it got taken down. So whether the cops had it seized as evidence, I don't know. But there was definitely discussion about one of his videos of the last 24 hours being removed by YouTube.
So they finally got back to him, the cops, then, did they?
I think so, because he says in the, and this is just me drawing a massive conclusion, but he says in his community post, we found Kylie's laptop. Thank you, everyone. So I think, reading between the lines, that people that were listening to him did get onto the cops, and if and like he said, if enough people call, they might do something. But they weren't. No, he was there for over an hour, and nobody had rocked up, and he was so disappointed, understandably.
Well, they've
And he's
probably
got
had
to
all
be
sorts of crazies. I just dropped the link in the side chat for anyone who wants to go
the,
after Tori's finished.
look, I don't mind if people. I really don't mind if people want to go there now, because I'm just driving.
I'm drawing the line, Tors. Don't fucking leave here right now. I will hunt you down. Do not.
Well, I can't end the live, but I fully understand if people go there, because he's got news. He's breaking news, you know. So I don't mind. I won't.
He's just sitting on his couch talking. It's fine.
He's a groover. I'm telling you, he's a groover.
Right,
He should be.
If you want to go have a little perv, because he is quite easy on the eyes, go and have a look and then come back.
He's cute as fuck. But I didn't know that. I didn't. I'm all, you know, that as far as I'm concerned, this thing on a person is their brain. And the fact that he's got a nice voice and he made me laugh, hooked. And then I saw his face and I was like, oh, you little cutie. You're as cute as you sound. But yeah, I mean, this is the thing, you know, if we can. I want to watch YouTubers that make things happen. And it's not even being a conspiracy theorist about it. Like, he's not saying, oh, this is indicative of foul play. He's like, this is fucked. Like, they were meant to dive and retrieve everything, and I found all this shit, and I've called them to tell them, and they're not sending anyone. And then when he says, this is awful, like, does anyone even care? I mean, it got me in the feels, Mel.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, they, like I was saying, the cops have probably had, you know, that many people ringing in and all sorts of shit going on. And the fact that they've dropped the ball themselves, you know, having someone call in saying, hey, I've found some of your mistakes, probably pissed them off.
Yeah, but isn't that fucked if they put their egos before getting there and getting that stuff before? I mean, he's a good person. If that had been one of the YouTubers that's just a sensationalist channel and they stumbled across that shit, they would have dug it all. Look what I've got. And they would have gone through everything, and like, he's a decent dude. He rang the people that need to have that stuff. But he also wasn't irresponsible enough to say, this is a sign of foul play. But he did say, how is this stuff missed? Like, and it's bloody obvious.
I don't think it would be
hey?
I don't think it would be a sign of foul play. I think it's just a sign of fucking, you know, fucked up.
Incompetence.
But I mean, when all of that happened, there would have been, you know, they would have been trying to stop people from coming down there and seeing what was going on, and there would have been so much going on. But
yeah,
still,
but Melba, when you look at AWP's video when they found her, they talk about the man hours, the money, and the number of people that were involved in that search. The cops wouldn't let anyone go down to the reservoir because they wanted to comb it for evidence. They didn't find a car, and then even when they did, they left a whole heap of stuff out of her car on the floor of the, like, it's incompetence. They didn't do.
Wow. What's happening?
That's what they're paid to do. So
Holy
I kind
fuck,
of
Corey.
think,
Stop. I'm having a heart attack.
why?
Because your screen just went all messed up like crazy and I thought you'd fucking crash the car.
Oh,
Okay.
it's okay. I'm all right. Breathe.
Okay. Oh my
Breathe,
God.
my beautiful, sensitive friend.
No. Oh God. I feel sick.
It literally is just an area where the reception drops out momentarily.
Siri, I can't even talk.
I'm sorry it scared you. We'll go
No,
down
it's not
to
your fault. The screen just went, like all totally crazy
I
and
normally
quiet. And I
just
was like,
it
oh.
usually just buffers. It must have done something special just for you, Mel. I'm so sorry it gave you a fright. We'll go down.
Okay.
We're going to go down to my little calm thinking spot so I can connect with chat momentarily, and then I've got to go to the post office before it shuts. But I'm sorry it gave you a fright.
It's not your fault.
Are you okay now? Your heart attack's moved on?
Yeah, I think so. That was not buffering.
Were
That
you
was like
getting
a
a
movie.
disco?
That was like some movie shit. Breathe in,
Ugh.
Sig Love. I'm I'm breathing the nicotine blue. It's all right.
Breathe the nicotine. Look, if I drive into the water right now, you'll all know where my car is at least.
Well, that's true. I'll fly over there so I can say I found her.
And I'll leave a window down so all my belongings scatter.
Mm.
But yeah, look, I mean, I know what you're trying to say in terms of what the cops were up to, but as far as I'm concerned, that's their job. And the summary of man hours and people involved and everything that happened that's at the start of that AWP video, like it's the missing the car can be explained very easily, and there's nothing suspicious about them missing the car, in my opinion. Like
No.
the car was there, they just didn't see it. But when they actually when AWP found the car and called them and they retrieved it, they haven't treated that as a crime scene or, as they haven't treated it properly. They didn't wrap the car, they rolled it underwater, and that's inexperience possibly. But as a result, things fell out, and then they did apparently have divers that was still combing the area after they removed the car, where everything gets stirred up when you're pulling something out of underwater. You're meant to let everything settle again and then go back and do the sweep. And they obviously just didn't do it.
They should have really put up buoys around where the car area was so that they knew exactly, where to search. And they should have gone down there with a metal detector.
They should have gone down with a metal detector for sure. Your sound is now roboting.
Oh.
No, I'm having a heart attack.
Should I go out and come back?
Yeah, if you want to just jump out, and I'll drop the link again and come back in. Bear with me, Groovers. Just going to post the link again for Mel because she got a bit Mr. Roboto. All right. Was it just me getting that noise? Oh, okay. Well, come back, Mel. A mega pint is just a very large pint of beer, Scott. Oh, look, Stoner Girl, there's a heap of things that people have said and lots of people have commented on it, but I don't put too much weight on the memories and recollections of teenagers that were at a party. I just don't. And yeah, I'm not going down that road of this is all very suspicious because, again, I don't expect. Oh, fuck, it must be me. It is me. Why is my phone doing this? Apparently you sounded fine, Mel, but Maybe we've blown the speaker on my phone.
Am I too loud? I can move
Because, yeah, it's
my microphone.
weird. Maybe I'll drive around. All right, I'll go around to the post office. It might be better. Maybe it's just bad reception here too. I mean, we are in a coastal country area, people, in Tasmania. Our reception can be iffy at the best of times. I agree, Shady Man. I agree. Hopefully it will be a lesson and, you know, AWP want funds so they can do more diver training for the cops and everything else. And, you know, I just think this
reward?
Hey?
Did they get the reward?
Was there a reward?
Yeah, there was a reward.
Oh, we were in a bad reception area because you sound clear as a bell now. Schnookums. I don't know about the reward and whether they got it. To be honest, I wouldn't know. I mean, I think they deserve it, but...
Yeah. Well, how many people have they... was it like 20 or 40?
It's 24.
24.
25 now.
And, you know, these are all... A lot of them are all old cold cases. And they've just gone there and bam.
Stoner Girl said they didn't get the reward. I mean, was that because they said they didn't want it, Stoner Girl, or because despite the channels that ripped them to shreds for showing the video initially just to their members, which they always do.
That's right. It's their content.
Fucking right. And
they're not the fucking news.
And these fuckers are sitting on their channels bitching about AWP making it members only for 72 hours while they're sitting back taking super chats bitching about AWP getting money. Oh, exactly. The hypocrisy.
And these people are making bank on AWP's, you know, content. Like everyone does on
Summer
here.
Wells and Chris Watts and Gabby Petito. Yes. But this guy, like Checker TV, is another example. We've had the Teacher's Pet podcast, we've had AWP, and now we've got Checker TV. These are three examples of people that have social media platforms that have brought about outcomes, and they're the people you should follow and support. Don't give these bloody Ryan Upchurch fangirls or critics your time. They are still, at the end of the day, drama channels excusing their drama by pretending they're talking about a case. But very few have shown any regard to Kiely, her family, her friends, her boyfriend. So don't waste your time, and definitely don't super chat them, because it's so transparent what they're doing, and it's disgusting.
There really needs to be there's a page for Cash Gernon Justice, like the family members and that, and they've been doing a lot behind the scenes trying to get laws made and stuff like that after the whole you know who bullshit. And it really is disgusting how they can pick apart these family members, you know, and cases, and it must have some effect on the outcomes of these things, you know?
Yeah.
And they're making bank.
Yeah, and I'm all for them. I'm all for them making bank when they are doing something productive and bringing about results and changes, or finding a missing teenager, or leading to a guilty verdict on a 40-year-old murder cold case. Like, I'll pour all my money at those people. But Yeah, AWP are remarkable. Apparently, they were told no. They didn't turn down the reward. They were told no.
Oh, okay.
But that's okay because, hopefully they did make some money when they had members only. And if a few new people signed up because they couldn't wait the 3 days, well, good on them.
Yeah.
But but anyway, I wasn't overly, I wasn't intending on covering this case or this story because to me that's what it is at the moment. And as far as I'm concerned, the latest developments are pointing at police incompetence and potentially lack of training, which I find is an interesting little twist in this story. So that's why I wanted to chat about it. But in terms of going down the behaviour of the kids that were interviewed and all of that stuff, no. Mm-mm.
But what about
Nay.
the whole system needs an overhaul with policing? And I come from a very heavily, police family.
Yeah.
So, I'm all for police. But, times change and their training needs to change with it, I think. And
Absolutely.
even
Absolutely.
deaths in custody and things like that, their
Look,
training needs to be better. Their screening of people needs to be better. Who are you letting into the police force? Fucking narcissists and psychopaths.
And the thing is, everyone knows that they're understaffed and under-resourced and there's the lack of money and everything. It was just with this particular case, a shitload was thrown at finding Kiely. A lot of money, a lot of man hours, and a lot of people on the ground and in the water. And even if a tenth of that time and money had been spent, the way they retrieved that car was not good. And as a result, things fell out of the car that this dude is now found just sitting on the floor of the reservoir. And I think they possibly did their sort of last scan of the area while all the dirt and mud and silt and everything was still in the water and visibility was probably shit. Like you said, they probably didn't have a metal detector. So it's still okay, even knowing how under-resourced police are, it's still okay to admit they made a mistake.
Yeah, but they very rarely do. And also the thing that I don't like is how they do the news conference and they say, we have put all of this time and effort in, we have found such and such, we have done this, and they barely give credit to the actual people who do.
Do you mean the cops or?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, I always live that, the world is an imperfect place and people are imperfect and people make mistakes. And the best thing you can do as a person is learn from mistakes. And if it leads to better training and so on, then bring it on. But yeah, that's just a little twist in the story that I found pretty interesting. And I really wanted to, give Check It TV a shout out too for being another person on a social media platform that's actually doing something constructive, unlike the drama community we came from that claimed to be into true crime. But at the end of the day, what the fuck do? They just rip each other to shreds whilst using a victim's name to do it.
Or they sit there and just show news clips and have an audience chatting them for doing that. It's like, what the fuck's going on?
Or they use somebody's timeline and don't credit that person for it. And when they get caught doing it, they become a gaslighting narcissist and tell everyone they're assholes. Or
they make this shit up. I don't know. People have figured out how to work the system, and I have so much to say this week, Tori. My mind's been blown this week on YouTube. And
There's always, there's barely a week that goes by if you're sort of even dipping your toes into YouTube that you aren't blown away. Like it's impossible to, I'm talking about me too, like it's impossible to participate on that platform even as a little spectator. Hello, old woman. And not be absolutely blown away. But where I'm really blown away is the transparency of it all is so obvious. And they're going to keep doing it as long as people rock up. And this is where I'm blown away is why are people still rocking up in the hundreds for this shit?
Why do people sit there and watch people whinging and bitching about someone else in the hundreds and thousands?
I know. And I just hope that Checker TV gets, and I already know because the subscriber count's gone through the roof just in the last 24 hours, and rightly so. But all these numpties that just keep rolling back into those shitty channels that we abandoned a long time ago now. It's just bizarre, the number of
really
people that is their chosen form of entertainment.
Yeah. I mean, I get people get bored. People love watching, a train wreck. I just...
But they're not even good train wrecks. Like, let's be honest, we're OG, and the train wreck that was Molly Golightly at the end of 2018 has never been surpassed or matched since. Like, the train wrecks, even like the Mandy Bell train wrecks, like, we just don't have those quality. Those shows were hard to look away from. I get that. But these people that were caught.
TLC is pretty good. But I've
What's that?
A pregnant woman in the car, Letitia. I've stopped watching her because the baby got taken.
I'm seeing if I can flip my camera around. I can't. Oh, no. I was going to try and flip myself around. Settings. Here we go.
They just love talking about people that masturbates. Just saying. What? No, old woman. I think she was on her way there before that. Oh, hey everyone. Welcome to Totally Mel Mel / Tori. I think she booted herself. Yeah. It's just me now. It's just me and you guys. She will be back.
I booted myself right when you said masturbate. I was like, fuck that noise, I'm out of here. I can't masturbate right now. I'm in a public car park.
So you can say the word cunt, but you can't say masturbate?
That just made me laugh. That was the word I exited on. I prematurely evacuated.
That happens.
Speaking of evacuations, I am going to evacuate. I want to go and get my mail. But yeah, I'm interested now, Mel, because it's not just fuckwits on YouTube hinging on every word that comes out of every person's mouth and reading mountains into it. There's stuff of substance, and yeah, I'm really keen to see what happens with Check It TV, and also I hope that people start to migrate to these channels that are bringing about change, and I hope that there are YouTubers that are inspired to try and do the same thing.
Don't forget though, Tori, we've all seen this. People get a little taste, just a little taste, just a taste like of the, getting a lot of people in the side chat and getting a lot of donations, and then they go fucking nuts. So it's anyone's,
Well, I reckon this potty is grounded, and I don't think he's going to let it go to his head. And even if it does, there'll be somebody else. But this is the first year I've been on YouTube where 3 social media platforms in a period of a couple of weeks have all achieved incredible things and done productive things. Like, of all the channels and shit and hours of crap we used to listen to, in the last few weeks, there are people that keep doing things and getting incredible results, and I'm inspired.
Yes, it is good. It is good.
So at the
And
end
they're
of
the
my
ones.
Chris Dawson live earlier, I decided to cover a missing persons case and pulled up a list from like a cold case list, randomly chose one, started chatting about her, and then found an article that there was a guy that was actually caught, convicted, and thrown into jail.
Oh,
So I'm now prepared. I have my next missing persons, and I've confirmed that this one is still a cold case. It's not actually a missing person; she was found, but yes, I will be. Preparation is key, Mel. I will not do that again. And today's cold case is blah 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 blah. Oh wait, it was solved 3 years ago. Okay. All I could do was say rest in peace, Michelle
right.
Bright, and it was not impressive. Hello, Lindy Lou.
Look, I've watched AWOP for a long, long time before this, probably a couple of years now. And I've always enjoyed their content. You know, yes, they have fancied things up a bit, and I just think it makes it more interesting to watch. But
I
you
do.
know,
And look, there is discussion out on the YouTubes at the moment about how irresponsible it was for them to put accident or murder in their heading, but they're not the first YouTubers that have written a controversial headline. And I mean, I used to moderate for the queen of clickbait, so I've become a bit numb to it. I kind of don't read too much into. I mean,
yeah.
I've gone live with headings like derp because I just think whatever your heading is, it doesn't end up being what you're talking about half the time anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I love how check it goes. I've got a sun hat, a dog, a paddleboard, and a phone. Yeah, me too, Miss K. He's a groover.
Yeah.
He's a little groover. And you know, but it, you know, like I said earlier, take the Kiely Rodni aspect out of him finding this stuff in the reservoir. It disturbs me that people think it's okay to leave rubbish in waterways. That bugs me too. On a very simple, basic issue, clean up stuff. You know, the fishies don't deserve waste thrown into their
Is it a natural river or a
environment.
man-made?
I think it's a man-made reservoir because there's theories that they've actually been draining it a bit because the tide is a lot lower, but I don't know about that. I cannot
That's
confirm
interesting.
or deny. I just know that there was talk that they might be draining it.
Also, does the dog go on the paddleboard? I'd like to watch that.
Chico, I haven't seen Chico on the paddleboard, but I have seen Chico staying in the car, watching,
Yes.
you know, protecting the car. Yeah, AWP, they started it with waterway cleanup.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, no,
My
old woman,
phone
that's horrific.
has giant garbage patches. Oh, and I've seen some of them, and I think my phone's overheating. It's gone very dark. If I suddenly disappear, I'll end this live. But I do want to say, Mel, thank you very much for jumping up on panel. Wouldn't it have been interesting, though, if we'd been on panel and you had shared Check It TV? So we were streaming somebody live while we're live. I'm driving and you're up on my panel. That would have probably been a YouTube first. Next time.
Yeah.
But everyone do go and sign up to Check It TV just as an acknowledgement that he's out there doing stuff that matters and that's interesting and it's worth talking about.
Let me get the link again.
You know, and at the very least, Kylie's family would love to have her belongings returned to them. So, you know, if you look at it in the most innocent of situations, I know that I'd want my family to have my belongings and not find out years later they were just still sitting on the bottom of a reservoir floor.
Yeah, for sure.
It's Oh, woman, it's 4:45 where I am.
It's my dinner time if anyone wants to
And
send me food. My oven's broken.
your oven's broken? What the fuck?
Tori, I've had a bad week. First Mishka, and then my fucking oven just
Oh,
died.
no.
And I understand both situations, really. But I knew my oven was on its way out. It's dead. It's dead as a fucking doornail. You go like this,
But
you hear nothing.
that's your heart and soul.
I know.
That's
Like,
where we relax.
I was going to make tuna mornay, and I still will make tuna mornay. But now I can't finish it and put it into the oven with the
crunchy top.
To make the crust for the top all magical.
So that even the grill part of the oven's fucked.
Everything's fucked.
Have you got a creme brulee blowtorch?
No, but I got a can of hairspray and a lighter.
That'll work. That'll work. It might smell a bit like hair. It might taste a bit like hairspray, but
it won't move and it'll be crunchy.
Have you got a Barbie? Can you whack it in the Barbie?
I can't whack tuna mornay in the Barbie.
You can. I cook everything in my Barbie.
I don't even, I think that barbecue's been used like 3 times. And
well, it's time to use it. I bake cakes in mine.
What? You have to do that. That's content, Tori. You better do that one day.
I will. And I think we should start a whole series of barbecuing live with Totally Mel and Better Call Tor, and it'll be popular as fuck.
I've got a great video coming up this summer because my friend's got a pool in her backyard now and it's all nicely paved and everything.
Yeah.
And Lynette's going over there for a barbecue so she can see Dad.
Nice.
Who's doing
Are we going to
well.
see Lynette in a swimsuit?
Maybe.
I don't want to see her growler region.
Well,
I don't need to see the old growth forest.
You can cook fish. I've seen people cook fish in a dishwasher, Shady.
Yes.
I do have a microwave. That is also got rust in it and it's nearly dead.
Well, I'm suggesting, and the other option is, and it's cheaper than an oven, but does the same job because it is an oven, the air fryer alternative.
Yeah. No, I need an oven. But Andrew's going to do his tax. So, yeah.
Maybe we should have a buy Mel a new oven fundraising live.
Oh, fuck no. Fuck no.
No, I knew you were going to say that, and there's no way I'd fucking do it. We already know that is dangerous territory we don't go down. No. But in the meantime, get onto the YouTubes and look at some people cooking everything on the barbecue. It'll blow your tits off.
Yeah, I will.
But thank you for, and much love too. I'm still, hey, Red Lotus, how you doing, Groover?
Hey, Red.
Thank you for being on the panel and being my co-pilot. I love it when we collab while I'm driving. It's fun.
No, wuckers.
Sorry about that little scare you got earlier when I went out of range momentarily.
It was like from a movie. I watched too much shit, like, people driving with those little cameras and shit, and like having accidents and stuff. And I was just like, oh no, that would be.
Darling, if it had happened, I would have just ended up in a ditch, and I'd be like, I'm all right, I'm just in a ditch.
And I would have been yelling, help, help.
I do think that when I'm live, I'm like, I hope I never capture an awful car accident or something while I'm driving. That does disturb me a little bit, but so far the traffic gods look after me. Nice nails, dolls. Love them. Thank you to everyone in chat too. And obviously there's quite a lot of Kiely Rodni people in the chat because we've held a nice little crowd. So go over and sub to Check It TV, and you'll always see us going live when there's something interesting, new, and factual for us to talk about. Whoa! Someone ran into Red Lotus watching YouTube. Fuck it, they were watching YouTube when they were driving.
Oh my God.
They now
Was it
owe me
ABL?
20 grand. My car is totaled. Oh, Red Lotus, I'm so glad that you're okay.
No, Tori doesn't watch her phone when she's driving.
No, it's a long way from my nose and eyes, and I wear glasses, and I only read chat when I'm stuck at a traffic light or in crawly traffic. So that's why I do a bit of a chat at the end while I can. Oh, I know I've seen that video, old woman. I've seen many like that, but I know the one you're talking about. It's hideous.
All right. I'm kicking myself off because you're trying to get rid of me. And thanks for having me.
Well, only because I've got 7 minutes till the post office shuts.
Yeah.
I love your guts. I love all your groovers in chat too. And see you all again very soon. Until then, stay groovy, everyone. Thanks again, Mel. Bye, beautiful people.
Bye.
Your face.